Hello and welcome to Current Issues with me, Tarun. The Supreme Court on Wednesday restored the Congress government in Arunachal Pradesh after quashing President's rule. A 5-judge constitution bench in a unanimous and unprecedented verdict quashed all the decisions of the governor that had led to the imposition of the President's rule in the state, calling his actions illegal and violative of the constitutional process. Joining me to discuss the issue are Jaivir Shergill, he's spokesperson of the Congress party, Zafar Syed, spokesperson of the BJP, and also T.R. Ramchandran, senior journalist and editor, will join me in the studio. But first of all, I go across to the Congress spokesperson. What is your reaction to the Supreme Court's verdict?
I think Satyame Vijayate and Yato Dharma Stato Jaya. The Supreme Court has upheld these two principles, followed these two principles, and saved our great democracy from the blatant attempt to murder this democracy by the ruling government. Secondly, I think there are 4 major takeaways from this judgment, 4 political, legal and consequences of judgments. Yes. Number 1, I think this judgment travels beyond Congress and BJP. It will have a huge beneficial impact on our democratic principles. Second, it has sent a strong message to the Modi Sarkar that your hunger of power cannot swallow the principle of the constitution. Number 3, I think a very strong message has also gone to the governor that the governor, supreme master of the Constitution of India, the governor cannot act like a puppet in the hands of the ruling government. I think after Uttarakhand and now Arunachal, BJP's blatant malicious tactics are falling like pack of cards. Their own apology and explanation to this nation as to why did they violate the constitution of this country in 2 times in 3 months. Such a speedy, such anxiousness to usurp power, we don't see such anxiousness to deliver the poll promises. And I think the BJP need to learn a lesson from this judgment, need to get rid of its misplaced priorities, and need to answer the public today why did it push the democratic principles to such a corner and commit this murder in the broad daylight.
Okay, point taken. I'm going across to Zafar Syed of the BJP. Zafar, how do you see this decision that has come today from the Supreme Court?
See, this decision of the Supreme Court will be reviewed by our government and the party, and we will revert and speak about it. We'll give inputs on the particular judgment later. But let me tell you one more thing. It is nothing to do with BJP. We were never trying to destabilize or having to form another government in Arunachal Pradesh. It was Congress, and Congress had 2 sets of legislators. One was following the leadership of the Congress party. Another was totally untied to the leadership of the Congress party. So there is a difference within the Congress party, and the Congress party was split in Arunachal Pradesh because they had absolutely no faith in Congress leadership. Why are they blaming Congress, BJP? They should see their own horse, whether that was in order or not. If everywhere they are unhappy, the legislators are unhappy with the Congress leadership and they want to break from the Congress and form a government, who are we to support them, or who are we to be blamed? First of all, let me ask Congress spokesperson why Congress leadership has decided to take undertaking they have decided to take undertaking from the legislators in West Bengal. They have decided to take undertaking in Punjab. They will not quit the party because they know for sure that the people of and the workers as well as the legislators in the Congress party are unhappy with the leadership because there is no leadership. They are not satisfied with the leadership, and that's why they are breaking away from their leadership and trying to form a government which is actually they will be able to serve the people. In case of Arunachal Pradesh, how come BJP is being involved? BJP was not at all involved. It is the onus of the government of India. When the governor has a recommendation, then it has to invoke the Article 356 if it feels necessary. If the NDA government been in haste, then they would have given consent, or they would have gone ahead when the governor had recommended on the 17th of December, but they didn't do it because they felt that maybe it will be settled in Arunachal Assembly itself. But when they felt that, they realized that the whole Constitutional machinery has failed in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and it's a sensitive state, it's a border state, sensitive state. And when the government recommended, again after a month, in 17th January, then it was onus on Government of India to invoke Article 356 and recommend to the Honorable President. And Honorable President, after taking legal opinion, had given his consent. Then why are we blaming BJP? BJP has to play, Government of India has to play a role. It is onus on Government of India to ensure that the constitutional machinery, when get failed, then it has to step in and invoke Article 356 and impose President rule. It is nothing to do with BJP. It is Congress has to see its own horse, whether it's in order or not. Everywhere they are facing problems,
take your point.
Because the legislators are not happy with the leadership, and they
I take your point, Zafar Said. I am going across to T.R. Ramchandran before I go to Jaivir Shergill. T.R. Ramchandran, you saw the verdict, what it was. You've seen what has happened for the past 4 months. How do you look at all this?
Well, I think in the first instance, it's very damaging for the BJP at the center.
Yes.
And the second aspect is that the governor, blatantly went beyond what is in the constitution. I think it was an action of somebody in the governor's house who wanted to be more loyal than the king and has landed the ruling BJP into this trouble.
Okay.
Let us be very clear. In the Northeast, these are small states, with small assemblies, and the maximum that can happen is giving you 1 seat or a maximum of 2 seats to the Rajya Sabha.
Yes.
The BJP definitely had a game plan that, in states in the Northeast where it is very easy to have an Ayaram and a Gayaram.
Yes.
And in Arunachal in particular, which is a border state, there was a revolt in the Congress party where no less than 20 out of 46 MLAs revolted against the leadership.
Yes.
There have been differences of opinion between the Congress High Command on the one side and the congressmen in Arunachal. But I think leaving all that aside, because this is not something that is uncommon in the Northeast.
Yes.
These kind of things
this is
do
common,
happen.
but you don't agree with the governors? You think he went beyond his mandate in a way?
I think he went far beyond his brief, as I said right in the beginning.
Okay, point taken. We'll go across to what the experts have to say on today's judgment.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि इससे जो उनका बेनकाब हुआ है चेहरा, ये पूरे देश को लोगों को पहचानना चाहिए कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार, नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार संविधान विरोधी है।
मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट को सैल्यूट करता हूं, क्योंकि जनता को ये विश्वास है कि अगर कोई भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मर्यादा, संवैधानिक मर्यादा का उल्लंघन होगा तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट खड़ी है और देख रही है, और कोई भी सरकार हो सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपना फैसला, निर्णय देगी और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यू, संवैधानिक मर्यादा को बरकरार रखेगी।
ये हम भी बहुत अफसोस थे कि जब हमारे जो महामहिम जो राज्यपाल जी थे, उन्होंने एक जबरन उसमें एक इमरजेंसी स्थिति करके एक प्रेसिडेंट रूल लागू किया, राष्ट्रपति शासन लागू किया। फिर उसके बाद उसको हमारा जो एक कांग्रेस वाली जो गवर्नमेंट था उसको भंग किया।
Okay, point taken. I'm going to Jaivir Shergill. You've seen the reactions. The BJP spokesperson made his point. How do you react to the points that he made?
Well, I unfortunately, apart from being a spokesperson, the lawyer in me cannot legally agree with the point made by the spokesperson, and I'll prove how they are legally and factually wrong. Number one, BJP is classically acting like a deer caught between the headlight. The factum, presuming, and I will argue against me, the fact even there were differences within the Congress party, the fact there were defection within the Congress party can never be a ground for imposition of president rule. That is the law of this country. That is what Baba Sahib Ambedkar envisaged while drafting the constitution of this country, and that is what Article 356, and that's what Supreme Court said while dealing with Uttarakhand. Point number one. Point number two, Bharatiya Janata Party is suggesting that the governor gives a message to the assembly in violation of Article 174, holds a session outside Vidhan Sabha, gives a report to the center. Let me tell my friend from BJP who is unaware of the constitution. The governor's report is read upon by the Council of Cabinet Ministers. They advise the president. If they didn't agree with him, they should have advised against it. They are well within the law. They celebrated the governor's report. They celebrated the removal of the CM. And today, when the Supreme Court has given a ruling against the governor, they're running here and there and looking for corners to hide. I'm sorry, that does not work. Number 4, now again, I'll make my friend aware a little bit more about the law. About defection, there is anti-defection law. About corruption, there is Prevention of Corruption Act. Today, Supreme Court, for the first time in history of this country, had turned back clock. We are back to 15 December 2015. This is unprecedented. Now, Supreme Court, the governor should ethically resign. The PM should explain why did he approve of governor's report recommending president's rule. Why did he not advise him, Mr. Governor, you're in violation of 163. Mr. Governor, violation of 174, 175. There is a judgment of Supreme Court of 1979, Union of India versus Varuli and others, which say the governor cannot send a message to the assembly if it does not relate to a bill. The governor did that, not in vacuum, with the patronage of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this is a writ large. Why did BJP celebrate governor decision? Today they should own it up, and the nation is seeing their game plan is caught. They wanted to usurp power in Northeast through backdoor channels. That fell, practically they have an egg on their political face. And I'm sorry, you cannot disown the judgment today no matter what you like. The nation is watching you. Neither you can disown the fact the rule is imposed on the advice of the ministers. Neither you can disown the fact the governor is your appointee. Neither you can disown the fact the governor sent a message and you were fully aware. Tell me if your conscience was so prickled. Haryana saw the worst failure of law and order. Women were raped on streets. You did not go and ask for president rule. The governor didn't. Why so? Today J&K is burning. You never asked for president rule. Arunachal is a border state. Uttarakhand was recovering from a massive catastrophe. Your conscience never gets prickled in those cases. And here you are acting holier than thou. I'm sorry. The truth is today people's power has won over money and muscle power. And the easier, the quicker BJP digests this fact, it's better for them.
Okay, point taken. I think Zafar Sayed was raising his hand when you were speaking. Yes, Zafar, do you want to rebut?
I think Javier has stated something that the Congress party has always used money as a power to get the legislators' vote in their favor. So that's what he was advocating. Let me remind Mr. Javier Shergill that the government of India did review the recommendation of governor, and in turn they agreed, and the second time when it was recommended, final recommendation from the governor, and did review it and agreed and given it consent and recommended to the honorable president. Do you think that president has not reviewed it, has not before giving it consent? You are actually challenging honorable president that he has purely because we had recommended, his government had recommended, he has given consent. He has not taken any legal opinion, and nobody within the president's house has opined anything on this recommendation of the government. So don't give me this lecture on the legislation, law and all. The fact is that your own party is in shambles. There is a defection within your own party. They are creating problem for you, and you are blaming BJP. Bharatiya Janata Party has never, if you all 47 MLAs would have worked together and remained in power, you would have remained in power. But that was not the case. You actually, the part of the group was not happy with the leadership, and that's why they had defected from the Congress party. So you should actually see whether your own party is in order or not before even raising finger at BJP. Secondly, when the governor is recommending something, why assembly was locked? Can you just tell me why the assembly was locked? Why the administration was not allowing the breakaway MLAs to get inside the assembly? Had they been allowed, probably that all the issue would have been settled at that time itself. Why didn't you allow that? Why the Mithun was slaughtered outside the president house? Do you have any answer to this? The problem is that Congress is actually keeping an eye shut on all these issues and only blaming BJP. You should realize that had you allowed all the legislators to enter the assembly and not block them, not forcefully throw them away, then all this issue would have settled, because you knew that there is no number and you cannot
point taken,
get the
point taken.
support of
Javeer,
all the
do you want to
people,
ask something?
and you will lose the majority that itself, that day itself.
Javeer, you want
That's
to
why
ask
you had,
something?
you were
Zafar,
worried.
1
Specific
minute.
question.
What question do you want to ask?
At 5 o'clock, Bharatiya Janata Party did a press briefing,
Yes.
and they made a specific statement questioning the Supreme Court judgment to say we need to introspect whether the judgment strengthens democracy or weakens democracy. So I want a specific answer from Mr. Zafar. What is his views whether the Supreme Court judgment protects democracy or weakens democracy? Point number one. Point number two, Mr. Zafar, all the arguments you were making, BJP should have hired you as a lawyer, maybe they would have won. The fact today is Congress government is back in power. That is the bitter truth. All your arguments fall flat in the eyes of law, in the eyes of the Honorable Supreme Court of India.
Mr.
Okay,
Javeer,
Javeer and Zafar, we've got a caller, Ashit from Orissa. I'll take the caller.
At the end of the day,
Yes, Ashit.
Sir, good evening.
Yes.
The governor of Arunachal Pradesh should be sacked first,
Okay.
or he should give resignation.
Okay. That is your comment.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ashit, I've taken your comment. I'll ask T.R. Ramchandran to respond. Yes, T.R. Ramchandran, you heard our caller speaking. How do you look at it?
I think this demand has also been made by the Congress that the governor should resign of his own violation. But may I say something about the Honorable President?
Yes.
It is a fact that the President, when the recommendation of the Union Cabinet was sent to the President for imposition of President's rule,
Yes.
the President did consult legal experts,
Yes.
and in his own wisdom decided to
So the President of India decided in his own wisdom
to give his assent, because I think it was not very far away when people knew by and large that the Congress would go to the court.
Yes.
And in this case, the Chief Minister himself, the deposed Chief Minister at that point of time, decided to go to the
Okay.
apex court.
Okay.
But the Constitution bench may have taken time to settle this issue.
Yes.
But the President knew very well that his term comes to an end in July next year.
Yes.
And he thought in his wisdom to send it, to approve it, so that the highest court in the land will decide.
Yes.
Finally, a Constitution bench has decided.
Okay.
Because even if the President had sent it back to the Cabinet for reconsideration,
Yes.
please understand, after such reconsideration, if the Cabinet were to return the recommendation of the
I have
Union
a
Cabinet in
statement.
toto,
Yes.
the President would have to accept it and sign
Yes.
it.
So I have a statement here from former Congress leader Khalikopul, who he plans to move a review petition in this case. Now Khalikopul says, and I quote him, "The government is run by numbers. The court doesn't run the government. Numbers do. My government will remain." I'll go to Javeer Shergill. Javeer, I've read out the statement of Khalikopul, your own former minister. How do you see this statement?
I think he's donned the colors of Bharatiya Janata Party very quickly. He's forgetting that defiance of the Supreme Court law is practically the contempt of the court, and he can be held liable. If today Supreme Court has said the government has to be restored, then he will have to abide by the decision and make way. If he doesn't, then he'll be in contempt, facing maybe imprisonment, or he's
because of the attitude you guys have. Everything BJP is responsible.
Second, sir, sorry, I respect everybody. I did not interrupt. This is a civil debate.
You are having within your party. No, but you are.
This is a civil debate. If you don't want to adopt civility, I can be uncivil too. Second, don't get a heartburn. I know you're upset today. Don't get a heartburn. I'll send you a capsule for that. Second, the BJP minister is full within his right to file a review, but review takes its own time. Review does not give a stay order. In the meantime, Congress government will remain. Best of luck to him and for his efforts to go and seek legal options.
How long it will remain? That also is a big question mark.
Sir, if you want to shout over me, I am younger than you, I can shout more than you. So let's maintain the civility of this debate. You can answer now.
I think you should preach this to all your other spokesperson. I think they need this kind of preaching.
Okay. Point taken. We are moving to statements that have been made by various individuals on this issue. It comes here right for you.
कोर्ट का फैसला है और उसकी ऑर्डर की कॉपी अभी मिली नहीं है, उसको स्टडी करेंगे और अरुणाचल के अंदर बीजेपी को कोई सेटबैक नहीं है। वहां पर कांग्रेस के आपस में मतभेद थे, कांग्रेस में अंदरूनी झगड़ा था और कांग्रेस का एक ग्रुप सरकार से अलग हुआ और उन्होंने वहां फ्लोर पर अपनी मेजोरिटी साबित की। अब कोर्ट का फैसला आया है तो कांग्रेस का सिर्फ डब्बल है, इसलिए वहां संवैधानिक संकट पैदा हुआ और एक दूसरी सरकार वहां बनी।
सीधा सीधा सरकारों को तोड़ने की कोशिश है, सीधे सीधे पार्टियों को तोड़ के और प्रेसिडेंट्स रूल लगाने के नापाक कोशिशें हैं जो अरुणाचल प्रदेश में और उत्तराखंड में सामने नजर आई हैं और मुझे उम्मीद है कि अब दिल्ली सरकार को भी ये ठीक से चलने देंगे इन 2 जजमेंट्स के बाद।
इस प्रकार से जो बीजेपी और बीजेपी का नेता लोगों ने चुने हुए सरकार को एक एक करके वो हटाने के लिए कोशिश किया गैर कानूनी से, उसको देश का जो उच्च न्यायालय से हम लोग को ये मिल गया, जस्टिस मिल गया है।
भाई ये एक बहुत बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण फैसला है, शायद अपने आजादी के इतिहास में पहली बार हो रहा है कि केंद्रीय हस्तक्षेप के चलते हुए जो सरकार बदली गई उसको जो है रिवर्स किया है सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने। और ये एक जज का जजमेंट नहीं है, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेंच का है 5 जजों का, इसकी बहुत बड़ी महत्व है।
Okay, before taking the reactions, we have a caller, Rajiv from Pune. Rajiv, what question do you want to ask?
I want to ask, this is the retaliation of the Supreme Court against the central government for not continuing selection of judges of collegium system.
Okay, this is a comment that
they are targeting central government and they are making extrajudicial intervention and they are taking unnecessary interfere in the executive working. This is the discretionary power of the governor, and governor, whatever governor has done, that is as per the rules. It is clearly written in our constitution, where it is written that Supreme Court can interfere in the president rule.
Okay, point taken. You have made a comment, that is your own comment. I'll ask any of the panelists if they want to react. I'll start with Javeer and also Zafar. Would anybody want to react on the comment made by the caller?
I just want to tell him one thing, because he raises the question that the president's rule is not subject to judicial review. There are, my friend, more than 20 judgments which says President's decision to impose president rule is subject to judicial review and court is well within its power.
Okay. So Javeer has cleared his point. Zafar, do you want to come in on this?
No, I think that's his personal comment. I don't want to really comment on his comment because he is saying that the judiciary is reacting because of XYZ reason. I mean, I don't believe in it, and I don't say the judiciary, whatever judgment has Supreme Court has given.
I take your point. Have we got a caller from Jammu now who wants to ask?
I will not make any such comment.
Yes, could you introduce yourself and make your point?
Yes, sir. This is Ashok Sharma from Jammu.
Yes.
Sir, I want to ask the BJP, Mr. Jafar Said.
Yes.
Please have pity on the poor voters. Don't force them to vote again. Trust in the democracy. Trust in the right of the public. Please, the same position has been created in Jammu and Kashmir by the BJP, and people are suffering very badly due to their conduct.
Okay, point taken. We'll go across to Zafar and ask him. Zafar, that was Ashok from Jammu. Would you like to answer to the statement he made?
What was the question? Can you just repeat the question, please, once?
Ashok had a point. He said that no, you let democracy function, don't interfere, and let people decide whom they want to elect. And you did the same thing in Jammu. Is the kind of thing he was saying.
No, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with Ashok.
Yes.
See, there is absolutely no disconnect on that.
Yes.
The democracy, we are the one who are advocating democracy time and again. So there is no disconnect on that. But he must understand. It is not BJP, it is the internal problem of the Congress.
Yes. Okay, point.
BJP is not playing any role. BJP was not part of the government. It's a breakaway Congress which has formed the government.
Okay. And there is Pradeep from UP. Pradeep from UP is calling. I'll take his comment and come back to our panelist. Yes, Pradeep, what question do you want to ask?
मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि जैसे आप ये देख रहे हैं, लोकतंत्र के फेवर में ये फैसला अगर कोर्ट का आया है, जिसको पूरा भारत क्या पूरी दुनिया स्वागत करेगा, लेकिन जितना समय लगता है कोर्ट के फैसला आने में, ये फैसला भी जल्दी आना चाहिए, जिससे कि ये बार-बार लोकतंत्र की हत्या
Okay,
ना की
okay, I take your point. I take your point. I'm going to T.R. Ramchandran. Yes, T.R. Ramchandran. I'll also read a comment that the Supreme Court made today. The governor must remain aloof from any disagreement, discord, disharmony, discontent, dissension within individual political parties. What do you think he meant when the Supreme Court meant when they said this in the judgment?
I think it's very significant. I haven't read the full judgment.
Yes.
I think I need to read it because everybody tells me that this is far-reaching and epochal in a manner in independent India.
Yes.
But it is very clear this 5-judge bench is headed by Justice J.S. Keher.
Yes.
Everybody knows his reputation.
Yes.
They've gone strictly within the parameters of the Constitution
yes.
and what the constitutional provisions give. I think at the end of the day, when this is particularly said...
So what would be a closing comment on this issue for today?
Basically that there should be no interference if there is a problem within the legislature.
Okay.
The legislature will decide for itself.
Okay.
And what he's trying to say is there is no need for the intervention of the governor, which happened in this case in Arunachal Pradesh, where he overturned the decision of the legislature and advanced the sitting.
Okay, point taken. Arun from Maharashtra wants to give a comment. Arun, yes, Arun, what comment do you want to make?
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Yes, I request the Prime Minister of the nation to behave in the manner a India Prime Minister's legacy of good Prime Ministers. He should stop.
Okay, I think we lost the link with him, but anyways, I am moving to Zafar. Zafar, what would be your closing comment for this debate today?
See, as I said earlier that it is the internal matter of the Congress. We respect the judgment of the Supreme Court. It will be, once we have the copy, we will review it. But having said that, the Congress should keep their house in order instead of blaming Bharatiya Janata Party. It's their internal problem. Their breakaway group has formed the government. Now the government of the 15th prior to the 15th December has been will be restored, but they will have to prove the majority on the floor of the house.
Okay,
so the fact will be clear.
Okay, so they'll have to prove majority, as Khalikupul also said, is what you are saying. Point taken. Jaivir, give me your closing comments quickly.
Just two comments. Bharatiya Janata Party should start reading and respecting the Constitution of India rather than worrying about the internal affairs of the Congress Party. Number two, PM Modi and Shri Amit Shah should apologize to this nation. Number three, Congress government is back in Arunachal Pradesh. We will take it to new heights. And if it comes to a floor test, we will come out with flying colors like we did in Uttarakhand.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on this debate today. The Supreme Court has made its intentions clear by upholding the Constitution, but it remains to be seen what happens in the floor test. We'll keep track of the Arunachal Pradesh issue for you here on News World India. Thank you so much for joining us on this debate today.